Welcome to the Wall of Fame podcast from Avant Media Institute, where we celebrate the alumni who are shaping the audio industry and leaving their mark on the world. Being inducted into the Wall of Fame isn't just about career success. It's about passion, perseverance, and impact. It's a recognition of those who push boundaries, inspire others, and redefine what's possible in music, film, live sound, and beyond. Each episode, we sit down with one of our distinguished alumni to hear their journey, how they got started, the challenges they overcame, and the lessons they learned along the way. Whether you're an aspiring audio engineer, a current student, or just someone passionate about the world of sound, this podcast is for you. Austin, what's up, man?
What's up?
How you doing, bro?
I'm doing good. Glad to be here.
Yeah, man. Thank you for coming, man. You've done so many great things, and you're a great student here. And we want to get to know you and let our audience know a little bit more about yourself and your journey. So let's start with your story. What's the earliest memory you have of being captivated by sound or music, and how did that lead you to discover Avant?
So growing up, I was actually homeschooled until 5th grade.
Interesting.
So my mom was my teacher. I have a younger brother who's 17 months younger.
Okay.
And then I've got 2 younger sisters as well, but they were a little behind. And so I remember growing up, and my mom is a singer-songwriter. So I remember her playing piano throughout my childhood. I remember listening to a lot of music, doing studies, and she had me in choir growing up, and eventually that was then my choice. I was in choir and playing piano, and so yeah, music has always been a part of my family and how I was growing up, but I never wanted to make music. I just really enjoyed it, and so I was going to college at the University of Missouri for broadcast journalism.
Right on.
And I was doing music videos for artists on the side, and so I dropped out. I had some job opportunities. COVID hit, and then my immediate family moved down here, and I followed them a little bit after. And I had gotten Logic through a Final Cut Logic bundle. I was bored. I didn't know anybody. I was just, and so I started. I made a beat. I sent it to one of my friends from home who's an artist, and he gassed me up for no reason. He told me it was great, and I told him that I'd make a beat for a year and see where it could go. And about 10 months into making beats, my parents pushed me to go back to school.
Yeah.
And my mom found Avant. We took a tour and saw the studios and met the staff and was instantly interested.
Interesting, man. Yes, especially. So when you say you're doing choir, that was all through homeschooling as well, or was that when you got older?
Yeah. So that was when I went into actual school.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
So you already had a musical background then.
Yeah, I mean, my mom put me in piano lessons, and I would much rather have been playing basketball or running around the neighborhood, and so it didn't interest me at the time. But yeah, I was in choir, and yeah.
So then I guess it was an easy conversation when you told them you wanted to pursue music creation then, right?
Yeah, they're very supportive. They
amazing.
Yeah, I'm very fortunate. They just wanted me to have conviction about something. Mm-hmm. And so when I told them that they did and they heard that, they were very excited for me to kind of get back out into the world, and after college, moving back home, and COVID's so they were very excited to see me kind of jump back in and be pursuing something again.
And I'm sure, and when they see how dedicated you were, it was easy. I mean, they're going to be supportive no matter what, but when they see you're so dedicated and so driven, and I'm sure they trust themselves, they raise a good kid that's going to make the right decisions and go all in and make this, because a lot of people get into this and then realize we're essentially it's like playing the lottery. Not everyone, nobody wins. So to be in an industry where it's most people fail, and I'm sure they trusted themselves. They raised a kid that won't let that happen.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even. You're playing the lottery even trying to pursue getting into the field.
Yeah.
There's so few jobs in Houston. in the studio world specifically where I'm at, and then like you even get into there, and now every single song is a lottery. Like every single song that you work on, you have no idea what song is going to be the reason that you get a job in 8 months, or you know, see a lot of money on the back end eventually, or whatever. Like, it's just, yeah, I mean, that's one of the most interesting things for me about it, is that it's I'm already like this, but you have to treat everything as if it's the last shot.
Right on.
You know? Like, from recording or mixing or the song, you have no idea. And so everything requires your full effort.
I'm glad you say that. I talk a lot with my students about, you got to care. Mm-hmm. You have to care about everything that you do. If not, you'll just become one of many that do this and see no results.
Yeah.
I'm glad you say that. Let's talk about your first, like, initial, like, thoughts of when you walk into Avant. So when you walk in here for the first time, what was going through your head, and what was some of, like, your experiences during your, like, early days here?
Yeah. So I'm very, very competitive. Growing up with my brother, being homeschooled, we were playing sports all the time, 1v1, you know. And so I walked in, and my initial, like, thought process on the whole thing was, I was not here to make friends. I was not here to make enemies, but I was just here to get as much out of it for me. Like, it was all, you know, what can I get out of this? How can I... The initial want to even come here was to learn how to mix my beats. It was not to become an engineer. It was, you know, I'm making these beats. I feel like they're getting good, but they're not sounding the way that, you know, so-and-so's beats sound like.
Yeah.
How do I get that? And so my thought process was mixing. Mm-hmm. But you walk in, and in 101, they tell you, hey, there's an internship on the line for Lucky Run Studio in 201. And so that was super, super enticing to me.
Nice.
That made all the bells go off and be like, oh, I have something to, like, I don't think these other people want it as much as me. And I think that I'm willing to do more to get that than they are. And so not only did it give me, I'm already here to learn, but now it gave me extra motivation and something to just tap into something that I already enjoy, being in, like, a competitive atmosphere. So
very much like that. So I love to hear more of that. When I walked into, when I went to school, I was the youngest by far, and I was the least experienced. But I told myself, by this semester, no one's gonna mess with me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna be ahead of all you. So I love to hear the competitive drive, because it really is an industry where you have to have that mentality. You have to put some value on yourself, and you have to be delusional to an extent, to where you believe like you are the one.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, how will they believe in you? You know?
Yeah. I was just talking with I have a friend. Her name is Ash. She went to Avant as well. She's an artist, and I have another friend. His name is Kalen, and he works at Lucky Run with me. He's an engineer, producer. And we were just talking 2 nights ago about how the mindset of I think I can versus I know I can, and the different outcomes that come from both mindset, and how the I know I can mindset has your ceiling's just much higher.
Yeah.
Because you'll never say no to an opportunity. You'll never undervalue yourself. Like, the belief of, you know, no matter what gets put in front of me, I can execute, is so important, in my opinion, to executing in general, or even to taking the jump, because I think I can versus I know I can would block a lot of blessings. Like, I've gotten the opportunity to do sessions with people that I knew, like, if you would have sat me down and asked me, I would have told you I'm not prepared. Yeah. But I know that I can give them exactly what I can do, which is I'm going to give them my best. I'm going to be open with them, you know. Like, I had my first session with a large artist. They were rude. They were insulting me the whole time. It was a 6-hour session, and it took 4 hours in the session. I had to sit them down. I pulled them out the room, and I was like, and they've got a bunch of bodyguards. They got women with them. They got friends with them. They got, the whole thing.
Everything.
And I had to pull them out, and I had to tell them, like, I can't guarantee you that what I'm going to give you is going to, like, be up to par, but I will give you everything that I can, and I know for a fact the recording's going to be good. It's going to be clean. So if the mix isn't there, then it is what it is. Like, I'm going to give you everything that I can.
Yeah.
But if that's not good enough, I understand it, and I apologize. But I'm the one who's here right now. Like, we have this time right now. We got to do what we got to do with it, And so just that experience is what taught me I think I can versus I know I can.
And just looking in your eyes right now, seeing the conviction, and when you say "I know I can," is very moving. It's very powerful. I want to bring it back to your your time here at Avant.
Yeah.
Because believing in yourself wasn't the issue, but it's sometimes it helps for us to see other people see what we see in ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
So, who are some of your like most influential instructors here at Avant? Who are some of your mentors here?
So, I mean, I was very fortunate. C-Rob, Chris Robinson, was my
Amazing.
one-on-one teacher. We were his first class, and
cool.
he was excellent. He made sure that he put an emphasis on us getting to know each other and forming relationships with each other, and he also made understanding signal flow and like the beginner steps feel obtainable.
Yeah,
like when you don't know anything, some of that can be overwhelming, and it can feel like you've got a lot to learn, or like you're so far behind.
Yeah.
But he made it very easy to not get overwhelmed and to just, what is the information? Okay.
Yeah.
And then what does that look like in execution in the studio? And then from there, I went to 201 with Mark Zamora, who's the manager over at Lucky Run. He also owns the Hive Studios that runs out of the same building. And he was completely different. He was he grew up in a military family, so he's very his standard was very high, which I grew up playing sports. I got coaches that were very tough, so I had no problem with that. That was awesome because now we understand like the very simple stuff of signal flow, and we're starting to learn how to mix. And Mark's not accepting any like he's he knows what he thinks sounds good and what doesn't, and he knows like, okay, you're using compression right, or you're EQing right. It doesn't sound the way I would want it to sound, but you're doing it right. Like the steps are correct, or the inverse where it might sound all right, but based off of the way that you're using the EQ, this probably isn't going to work for too long. You know? And so his standard of excellence was very high, and that was necessary for me. And then I also had Maestro, who Maestro was almost more of a mentor than a teacher, which is not to even like, I'm not saying anything bad about his teaching. He's just very, at least with my class. Yeah. He was very intent on mentoring and having life conversations, wisdom conversations.
That's the kind of guy he is,
Yeah, that were very valuable to me.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool to hear Maestro getting some love here, man, because right now, like, you ask people who's their most influential teacher.
It's gotta be you, right?
There's this Mark Drew guy everyone's mentioning, and everyone's going crazy. It's like they line up to say, like, give him high fives.
all over Facebook.
Dude, they would line he walks in, everyone's like throwing like flowers at him. They're giving him high
like the
fives.
wave tunnels.
Yeah, dude, it's insane. Like I don't walk to my class anymore.
They carry you.
I crowd surf to my class. It's pretty cool.
Pretty sweet.
Yeah, but a lot of great. I think Avant does a really good job of putting the right people in place to teach these classes. All jokes aside, like C-Rob, I've known since like when I first started at iMix. We started around the same time. Yeah, and he was always like we learned from Bruce Bang, but he was very he was always there. First person to get there, last person to leave type of guy. Yeah. My time getting to know Maestro, very, very wise, very smart guy. A lot of knowledge to get from him. And all our, instructors here, we now have David in 401. Very, very bright when it comes to live sound.
David's awesome. David, so when I interned at Lucky Run, David was working out of there very often. And so I got to, he's I mean, as an intern, he was super helpful. He was one of the, maybe that's not fair, but some of the engineers didn't make it an emphasis to like try and develop interns, which is, you know, that's not what they're paid to do. They're paid to execute. And so, but he went out of his way to, you know, make sure that I was involved when I was there with the sessions, show me cool miking techniques. And, you know, he's a very cool guy.
Yeah, he's a leader.
Yeah.
And I, you know, seeing that you were guided by someone like him and the people you've been fortunate enough to be around, what was some of the breakthrough moments that was beyond just technical skills? Like, when did something like click when you were like just noticing, oh, I'm becoming a professional?
I think I get those moments, like kind of constantly.
Yeah.
Not constantly, but like I haven't stopped getting those moments.
Nice.
Like for me, it's funny. I feel like I make a lot of progress, and then that becomes the standard.
Yeah.
And then, you know, the way that my progression works, at least, is that, you know, it's a lot of little things.
Yeah.
And then all at once, you kind of get those breakthrough moments where you're like, oh, like, wow, okay. I'm not getting worse. I haven't stalled out. It's just all these little things that compound over time. And eventually, I just see breakthroughs in what I'm hearing, but also how I'm feeling. Like, I think that's also a big part of it is maintaining mindset of like, you know, if I'm showing up every day, if I'm putting the work in, I'm not getting worse. Like,
there you go.
I am seeing growth. I am growing. I might not be seeing it, but I'm growing, you know? And so I think like when I started working at Lucky Run, they had me as a recording engineer. I was not mixing. I was doing rough mixes to get artists, you know, bounces out the studio. But I got a lot of recording experience, vocalist, bands. And then I want to say maybe 4 to 6 months into engineering over there, I started doing mixing, and I just realized
that's pretty quick, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was in a very fortunate position. When I interned over there, they had Mark, who was the manager, engineering, and they had Michael, the owner, engineering, and they didn't have anyone else on staff who was consistently engineering.
Got you.
And so I believe 3 to 4 weeks into my internship, I started getting paid sessions.
Nice.
Yeah, which was, you know, I'm very fortunate. And then from there, I've been working over there for about 3 years. They gave me an intense amount of volume. I've worked. That's been my full-time job for 2.5 years.
Bro, congrats, man. That's a blessing.
Thank you. Yeah. So
blessing.
That's all I do now. And you know, in the 3 years, I've worked with over 300 different artists or bands and companies. But when I started mixing, you know, it had been 6 months to 8 months since I took 201, and so not that I'm not mixing, but I'm not doing it on the clock with the client sitting there, you know, and it's different, you know, and you're in a room that you're training your ears to, and so I want to say that just over time, you know, maybe the first 3 months of me mixing, I saw like huge growth where now it started to be a lot more unconscious work. Like, I'm not thinking as much. That's huge. It's just, for me at least, like, I've gotten the opportunity to have a volume of work to where it's very easy for me to go into flow state when I'm in these sessions, just because of the amount of time that I've gotten to spend in it over the past 2.5 years. And that really accelerates your growth, is not having to think the whole time you're working.
When you're mindlessly doing things. And what was some of the, like, was there a session for you where you started to notice, like, I'm so in tune with what I'm doing, my tools, I'm becoming what I saw in myself? Was there a session for you that really was the turning point?
Honestly, that first session with the big artist. Yeah, where I didn't execute, right? Is how I felt. And, you know, this artist just, you know, didn't treat me the way that I would want to be treated. or the way I would want to treat somebody. And then the way that this artist records is everybody's in the room and the monitors are off, and I'm in headphones. And so he's in the recording, the tracking room. I'm in the control room in headphones. Everybody's talking. Everybody's being loud. There's other industry producers and engineers in the room watching what I'm doing. I'd been on the job for like 4 months, so this is a stressful session.
You got thrown into the wolves there, bro.
Yeah, and so he finishes recording. He comes out of the booth, and he says, "All right, you have 5 minutes to mix."
Oh wow!
And this is I'll mention the album that this was going on. I won't mention the artist, but this was a song that ended up going on a Rick Ross Meek Mill album.
Okay.
So these are artists that I've listened to for you know a decade at this point.
Yeah.
These are people that I'm very familiar with. And that, especially at the time, I held in a high regard just because I was so early on in my career. And so, you know, I mixed for 5 minutes. He goes, "All right, you're done." And I'm like, I'm not done. I'm not done. And we kind of went back and forth. Yeah. He's like, "All right, you can have 5 more minutes." Got the 5 minutes. He listens. And he's like, "All right, played out the monitors." So the second it plays out the monitors, the song's done. And the crowd decides whether or not it gets submitted or not. This was his 7th studio that he'd gone to try and record this verse. And played out the monitors, and everybody loved it.
Yeah.
And that 10-minute mix ended up going on the project. But I didn't know. Yeah. So the song doesn't come out for 3 months. So for those 3 months, I'm in a whole different mindset where it's like, man, I this session. Like, I ruined my chances. I might have heard Lucky Run's name. Like, these people give me a chance. Yeah. And, you know, I couldn't execute. Yeah. And so I'm already competitive. I'm already driven. But that was a whole different type of, like, I'll never be put in that situation again. And then 3 months later, the song comes out, and it's what I did, you know? And so it's this weird vindication, but also, like, I'm very happy that it went the way it did. You know? That I got that experience, and it helped me become, you know, the engineer that I am today in mindset, but also in work and quality work. 'Cause that accelerated my growth tremendously.
Absolutely. Yeah, we need them. We need those stress tests, man. One, now you know if being put in those situations again, you know how to manage your nerves. You know kind of what to expect, regardless of how their behavior is. You know you're gonna be dialed in. Yeah. And then also, like, when everything's flowing smooth and they actually give you time, it's okay. I had to do this in 10 minutes before. Right. Give me an hour. We'll see what's up. You know. Oh yeah. Yeah. So that's amazing to hear, man. And I'm blown away, dude. Because when I was at iMix, I don't know if I could do that in 10 minutes in 4 months. So I could not do it in 10 minutes now. Like, truly, the fact that it made it on the project, I'm not ashamed of the mix in any way, but I would never, ever, like, tell an artist, "Oh, just give me 10 minutes and then I'll get you the final mix for that big of a song," you know? So talk to me about your time at Lucky Run. What was that initial feeling when you get the news that we're hiring you on? So, like, we love what you're doing. Because they have studios have interns all the time. And a lot of times we have internships. I'm sure you've seen them. Internships come and go. No one gets hired on. Yeah. What was that initial feeling like, man? Because you're not even from here, right? You're from...
Right. I'm from a small town outside of Kansas City, Missouri.
Yeah. So to come here in a big city, and do you have any family here?
Yeah, I have family here. Okay, cool. My immediate family moved down, and my dad's side is from here.
So. Okay, cool. So you did have a little bit of support, but to come down here where you don't know as many people as, of course, you do back home, and to land that, how did that feel, man?
I wish that I could say that it was like a big moment. Yeah. But I'm spoiled. Like, I got an internship at one of the top studios in Houston. And they started giving me paid sessions, you know, really quick. And it was, the conversation for me was like, okay, like, the real work starts now. Yeah. You know, like, I wish that I would have celebrated it, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, I find that because of the goals that I'm chasing, a lot of the time I'll look back and see milestones and be like, man, I didn't even know like how instrumental that was going to be in me getting to where I want to go. But I mean, I was very excited, but I knew like, okay, like this is it. This is me starting. Like I've got so much work ahead of me, and I had no idea that they were going to give me the volume they were.
Yeah.
I mean, for a while, for most of my work over there, we've had 2 engineers, but there's been patches of months where I've been the only engineer, and I've had months clocking 200 plus hours.
Yeah.
And I had no idea that was going to be on the table.
Yeah.
But I just knew like, okay, this is the time to like, this is the start line. I didn't feel like I had accomplished anything, which put me where I am now. But I do wish that I would have had like a celebratory moment.
If I can give you any advice that I learned after the fact, celebrate all the small wins, bro.
Yeah.
This industry isn't always the nicest. You've already seen it. And anytime you have to celebrate something, and I'm not saying go out and like have a party, but like just take a minute to sit back and be like, wow, this wasn't happening a week ago, and now it's here. Or 6 months ago, I gave myself a year to do it. I did it in 6 months, or whatever the case may be. Celebrate yourself and take moments to appreciate it.
Yeah.
Because the big wins don't always hit, right? I'm sure you had moments where, like, oh man, this is a huge opportunity, but due to other circumstances, it doesn't fall through.
Yep.
Right. And so the big wins don't always come.
Yeah.
So celebrate all the small ones just in between. If I can give you any advice,
I appreciate that.
What I learned before. I didn't learn that until like 6-7 years in, and now I may take time to, man, this is pretty cool. Or I take time to reflect and self-reflect on your journey and how far you've come. So now let's talk about how, like, let's combine your journey with Lucky Run at Avant. What are some of the things at Avant beyond a technical skill?
Okay.
What are some of the things you learned at Avant that you saw prepared you for your job at Lucky Run?
A lot. I mean, I think that you get to interact with a lot of different types of people.
Yeah.
And as an engineer, like that's bread and butter, And so getting to, Avant's the first school that I'm going to where not everybody's the same age as me, or within a 2-year age gap.
How old were you when you first came here?
I was 20 years old.
Okay.
I was 20 years old.
Really young, yeah.
Yeah, and so I had people in my class who were more than double my age, and so it's just you get to see a whole lot of different walks of life. You get to see a whole lot of different mindsets of people, like not only what they're pursuing, but why they're pursuing what they're pursuing, and how people attack learning information and like wanting to. Because in grade school or high school, you're learning information to pass a test, but that's the end of the, you
don't use it again.
Right.
Yeah.
But I had a student in my class, his name is Drew, and he was making study guides for all of us. Like he was like, he was making study guides for us. We were meeting up in class early and going over all the information. It was
That's
like,
cool.
Because this matters, like this is stuff that ideally we're going to be using all the time outside of school.
And you chose to come here.
Correct.
You weren't forced. Yeah.
Absolutely. This is something that we chose to put ourselves into, and ideally that'd be for a bigger purpose and not just to learn the information, but to eventually go out there and execute. And so, getting to see other people's mindsets, getting to see all the different walks of life, and then I think that the school held us to a high standard in that, I would say that it's fairly easy to like get good grades here, but it's not easy to excel. Yeah. Like you guys give us the path. Yeah. Or you open the door for us, and it's like for us, and you can pass, or you can like really soak all this information up. You can be in the studios, and you can really make great use of your time.
Yeah, that's kind of what I tell my class. Like, you turn stuff in on time, you do halfway decent on the test. It's not hard to take my class.
Yeah.
It's the stuff you do after. Are you implementing this information? Are you like I can teach you how to find scale, but if you never go revisit it again, if you never like practice it, like you're gonna find yourself in a situation where you're just lost.
Yep.
I show everyone how to find every major scale the first day and every minor scale the first day.
Yeah.
And then like the second and third day, I teach them how to find every chord, and we expand upon that, and we quiz over it every day. And the main thing I push for was, look, like the grades, of course, we care about them, but I care about what you do outside of this class. Like I care about after you finish. So it's refreshing to hear you say that, because I would like more people to really, really get that, like, you know, just pound it into their brain. It's what you do after is the stuff that matters. The grades are cool, but more importantly, it's the information and the game you soak outside of like the curriculum.
Absolutely.
I want to talk about, you know, everyone who comes to here and everyone who tours here and meets Maestro. He's a very, very smart guy. What were some of the stuff he taught you, or, you know, just share with you outside of the curriculum that really helped you out the most?
So the first thing that pops into my head is there was a point in class where he was playing just, you know, songs off of his laptop from local artists, and he was asking us who mixed this. Yeah. And, you know, the answer was artist, engineer, or producer. And it just made me, you know, obviously as an engineer, as a mixing engineer, you're listening to mixes intently, but you're never, I'd never thought to like, what lens was this song mixed through? Like, does it sound like the producer mixed this? Does it sound like an engineer mixed this, where everything's balanced properly? So that was one where it just, the toughest thing for me about like mixing is ear training. Yeah. In that I don't believe that there's a cap to ear training, but it's like anything. It's a database, and you cannot increase your ears if you don't have enough data. Yeah. Like, you just can't, you know? And so it just gave me a different way of looking or sorting through mixes of, like, you know, why does it sound like this? What are alternate motivations for why this sounds like this? Maybe they didn't like the kick, but maybe the producer mixed this. Maybe it wasn't a true engineer. Maybe that's why the vocals were tucked. Yeah. It wasn't an artistic choice in that way. It was the producer liked the beat. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, so there's that, and then I mean, we talked so much about life in his classroom. Our class, when I was in there, we had 4 students, and so, including myself, and so, and we were all very. I think we were high quality students. We were here to learn, and we'd excelled through all the other courses, and so there was enough time in our days to where we could go through all the information, ask all the questions necessary, and then get to life. You know, that's cool. Get a lot of questions about, you know, like even current events that were going on, or talking about just his experience in studio sessions and working with artists, and I think that I learned how to develop artists like tangentially through Maestro in the way that he was developing us. Nice. And I don't think that was something that he set out to do, but just through watching how he conducted, you know, the relationship where there's an implicit power balance, you know, there's a power dynamic in that relationship, and how he handled, like, you know, as an engineer, as a recording engineer specifically, like, I'm trying to get the best out of you, the artist. And so there's just a lot of ways that you can go about that, and there are a lot of parallels between the teacher-student role. Absolutely. So yeah, that's amazing, man. So now I know you say you had over like 300 artists that you've worked with, which is incredible. What's a typical session like for you these days? Or is there one? There is. So okay. I'm fortunate I work for Lucky Run, and I work for The Hive. So The Hive is a membership-based studio that runs inside of the Lucky Run facilities. And so I have members that I've been working with for, you know, over a year. And so they get a set amount of hours per month, which really helps us grow like a great relationship, you know. Nice. Like at this point I've got awesome vocal chains for all these artists. I've worked with them so consistently for that amount of time that we both get to reap benefits from it, the artist and the engineer.
Yeah.
But I would say, for recording sessions, it's, mainly come in, and right now I'm working on a lot of pop, R&B, and hip hop. I've gone through phases where I'm doing a lot of band stuff, but not so much right now. And, get the artist in, make sure that they're doing good, make sure their day is going well, figure out what we're working on, and then get to work. And I'm also, so I came here because I was making beats. I wanted to learn to mix them. Yeah. I have an understanding of music theory. I'm not going to be composing chords. I'm not going to do anything like that. Yeah. I know what sounds good. I can put it together. And
right on. You have a good ear.
Correct. Yeah. And so I'm in an executive production role a lot now with the artists that I'm working with, which is awesome because, I don't want to pick up guitar right now. Like I would much rather continue to learn how to mix better. Yeah. And so I've been able to connect with a lot of extremely talented musicians in the Houston area. There's so many. There's so many. Lot. And, so I love getting them in and getting them to help, create productions for these artists that I'm working with.
That's cool, man. You have an amazing story, bro.
Thank you.
I want to talk about, how was this journey from your first audio memory to today? How has it changed you as a person outside the studio? Or has it?
So I think it has. I was just talking about this with my friend Kaylin, my coworker. And I phrased the question much differently because we're just friends talking. But I asked him if we'd made him a better person, the studio, me and Mark and the clients, Yeah. And in asking that, it was just a spur of the moment question. But in asking that, now I get to turn it on me and ask myself the same question. And yeah, I mean, when I started here, I was just in a very different place, emotionally and mentally, where I was still very motivated and driven, but I would say it was, a little from a darker side than I like to operate from currently. I just, was kind of upset at life at the time that I came here. Yeah. But I'm now to the point where I think that I can have that same drive and that same conviction, but from a much lighter place where I don't want to be the artist, I don't want to be the person in the spotlight, but I really want that for you, and so it's I want to do whatever's necessary to make sure that these artists' dreams get to come alive, Nice. Through the membership program, I've got artists that I like to view it like they get a vacation once a week, or they get, twice a month, where it's keeping that mindset of this is a special moment for these people. This is intimate. I get to have very special relationships with these artists where they're talking about or singing about or writing about things that, who knows if anyone knows that stuff, it's very intimate to share, your heart and soul, and then to even execute on the mic. And so getting to see these artists open up and be courageous about, sharing their stories on the mic or off the mic, just in person. I would say it's definitely made me a more tender person, just in general.
Gotcha.
Is, having somebody open their heart up to you, I feel
it's powerful.
Yeah, it's powerful, and I feel that makes, at least for me, it makes me want to open my heart up.
That's cool.
And so I think, the confirmation that drive and conviction, if you put the work in, I believe will get you where you want to go. Yeah. Paired with, I'm in a field where I get to interact with so many different people, and they get to be, they get to have an impact on me, and I get to have an impact on their music, and hopefully on them too, but for sure on their music, and that music hopefully has impact on the listeners. So I think I think it made me a better person getting to work with all these different people.
That's beautiful, bro. For the people who are on the fence about coming here,
Sure.
what would you say to them, both for the professional opportunity and for the personal growth?
I think it's what I was saying earlier about Avant is going to open the door for you. Like, it's truly not about the grades. You're going to come in and the professors are going to give you the information. But if you want to do this, like, it's going to be fully up to you. Yep. And so Avant is, to my knowledge, the only one-year accelerated program in the whole state of Texas right now. This is the place where if you want to come in and get all the information and you want to get into the field and execute as quick as possible, this is the place to do that. You know, you've got professors that I think are great, that are great professors but great people. Yeah. And you've got these, nice facilities, and this field is tough. You're playing the lottery. Yeah. You're gambling with getting into the field and with every song, and if you feel conviction that you've got a winning ticket, you should play it.
And as someone who had the winning ticket for in yourself, looking at this Wall of Fame recognition, what would you tell that kid who first fell in love with sound, and what do you want your legacy to be?
I think I would probably not say anything.
Yeah?
Yeah, I don't want to mess it up. I want to make sure that I'm still here, Mm-hmm. But I think I would say things that I already knew back then, which is follow your convictions and show up and
there you go.
and be here as much as possible, and you give it everything. Like, I think the things that I thought were important were, in that if I give it my all, why wouldn't I be able to get where I want to go, And so, yeah, I would say trust the feeling that you have. Like, give it everything. And I think that I've never thought about what legacy I want to leave in terms of, like, as an audio engineer or a mixing engineer, whatever. I have goals that I've set for myself that are not monetary, that are not accolade based, that are mile markers for me, that, when I do these things, I've done what I came in to do, in terms of the competitive grind, of just trying to be as good as I can be, And so I really I would hope that my legacy is based upon the impact I've had on the artists that I've worked with, and less about the accolades or the money that, anything like that. I would hope that, if I retired tomorrow, the artists that I work with would be sad, that they'd be like, well, now how am I going to find that again? So the Wall of Fame is awesome for me. I'm very happy about that. I am celebrating that, and that was awesome. But yeah, I want to make sure that the impact I have on the artists that I work with carries.
Yeah, man. I mean, money's cool, but it does come and go. Memories last forever.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Austin, it has been a pleasure to talk with you and listen to your journey. I just want to say you, amongst all the other people who are on the Wall of Fame, are the type of students we hope to find here. So I just want to congratulate you on all your success.
Thank you.
And your future success. And thank you so much for coming by, man. It's been a pleasure to hear your story. I think it's the most you and I have got to, because you know what, you were in 301 the semester before I got here.
Yeah. This is for sure the first, like, real conversation we're about to have. So yeah, I enjoyed it.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for having me.
Dude, anytime, man. Congrats again, man.
Thank you.
Welcome to AM. Yeah.